Today's topic is ankle injuries. So, we are going to see the following structure of the ankle joint. First is the osseous structure, means bony structure. Then ligamentous structure. Then tendons and muscle around the ankle joint. Now, the bony anatomy of a ankle joint. So, tibia and fibula bound together by anterior and posterior tibiofibular ligaments and the introsus membrane which runs between the long bone. So 1 and 2, one number is fibula and second number is a tibia and the third number is a syndesmotic ligament. So there is a anterior and posterior tibiofibular ligaments collectively called as a syndesmotic ligament. So 3 number is a syndesmotic ligament. Okay. Now the talus is a vase-shaped bone, widely anterior then posterior, fits into the mortise formed by the bound tibia and fibula. So talus is situated between the tibia and fibula and makes a ankle joint. Tibia, fibula and the talus allows the plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Now the ligament. So in ankle joint, the bones are the tibia, fibula and ankle. The ankle joint is formed by these 3 bones. Now the ankle ligament. So first we see the lateral ankle ligament. So which are the ligament? The first is the anterior talofibular ligament, calcaneofibular ligament and posterior talofibular ligament. The 3 ligament forms the lateral ankle ligament. Now the syndesmotic ligament which is situated between the tibia and fibula. So first is the inferior tibiofibular ligament, posterior inferior tibiofibular ligament, transverse tibiofibular ligament and introsus membrane. Medial ankle ligament, the major complex is the deltoid ligament. So it is the strongest ligament of a ankle. Navicular bone, posterior tibial tendon attached. The posterior tibialis posterior tendon attached to the navicular bone. Now this is a tibio-navicular component, tibio-talar component and tibio-calcaneal component. Now tendon of the lateral ankle. As we see the ligaments. Now the tendons. Which tendons? The first is the peroneus brevis, another is the peroneus longus. Both serve as the major everters. The foot mechanism, inverters and everters. So everters are the peroneus brevis and peroneus longus. Also serve as a plantar flexor. Ankle tendon, medial side. There is the lateral side. Medial side there is the tibialis anterior, tendoachelis and medial tendon and tibialis posterior, flexor digitorum longus and flexor hallucis longus. Now the dorsiflexion done by the tibialis anterior, tendoachelis done plantar flexion and tibialis posterior inverter and plantar flexion. Now anatomy summary, we have seen the osseous structure, tibia, fibula, talus, ligament, lateral, medial and syndesmotic and the muscle tendon. There is a plantar and dorsiflexor, everters and inverters. Everters are peroneus longus and peroneus brevis and inverters are tibialis anterior and tibialis posterior. Now clinical examination ankle. History is always good. So what happened? What happened to an ankle joint? Which way did it bend? It bent medially, it bent laterally. Could you walk after bend? How much swelling or ecchymosis is there? When did it happen? How many days? Or what have you done for it? And have you sprained it before? Is this same injury happened again before sometimes? Now, the clinical examination of ankle. So, first is the inspection and palpation. So, most helpful during the acute phase. Remember your anatomy. Palpate the structure you know. First is the bony prominence, ligaments and tendon. You can easily palpate the medial malleolus, lateral malleolus and the ligament or peroneus longus and peroneus brevis. Now, the range of motion. Always check the range of motion. Which range of motion? Plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, inversion and eversion. Neurovascular status. Which nerve and which vascular component arise in ankle joint? The first is a dorsalis pedis artery which is between the first and second metatarsal and posterior tibial artery just 2 cm below the medial malleolus. Strength not helpful in acute staging and ligament testing is difficult. If you have a painful condition, we can't check the ligament status because always trying to examine the ankle joint, there might be a pain. So ligament testing is slightly difficult. Evaluating the syndesmotic injury. How to check the syndesmotic? The syndesmotic ligament is between the tibia and fibula, lower one third. The first is a squeeze test and second is a external rotation test. What is done in external rotation? Your right hand is over the anterior scene of tibia proximal part and the left hand is over the foot. Try to external rotate the leg. If there is a pain, there is a syndesmotic injury. Another is a squeeze test. Try to squeeze the proximal part of the tibia and patient having pain in lower part of the ankle if there is a syndesmotic injury. So clinically you can identify there is a syndesmotic injury. Now X-ray. X-ray indicated in which soft tissue ligament are not seen on X-ray. In X-ray is mostly rule out for the fracture. So X-ray indicated to present within the 10 days of injury. After 10 days, unable to bear weight. Patient can't bear weight at the time of injury. Tenderness distal 6/7 of the malleolus and posterior aspect and tenderness over the base of the fifth metatarsal on navicular bone because there is attachment of the peroneus longus and tibialis posterior. Now, the ligament injury. Three types of ligament injury are most common. The first is a lateral ankle sprain. Most common, lateral ankle sprain. Then syndesmotic sprain and medial ankle sprain is ligament around 5%. So how the lateral ankle sprain? So plantar flexion and inversion. Syndesmotic, dorsiflexion and eversion. And medial ankle is eversion. So how you measure? You can see the foot always laterally. So laterally bend is more common. You can see first is the ankle sprain. The most common acute sports injury, 25% is running and jumping sport. Mechanism of injury is inversion and plantar flexion of the foot when landing off balance and clipping another player's foot. Sequence of injury. If there is an ankle sprain occur, which ligament is torn first? The first is the anterior talofibular ligament. The first ligament is gone is the anterior talofibular ligament. Second one is the calcaneofibular ligament, then posterior talofibular ligament, then muscular tendinous unit supporting the ankle joint. Incidence increase individual with varus malalignment if the patient having genu varus and genu valgus. Then calf muscle tight if the patient having calf muscle tight. Previously incompletely physiotherapy of ankle sprain. Now we see the lateral ankle sprain. The mechanism is the inversion ankle sprain, inversion injury, the pain over the lateral malleolus, swelling around the lateral malleolus and pain increase with the lateral movement. So as we see, there is a lateral ankle sprain. This is the most common. We see our foot is always bent, it's like this, never bent like this. So this is the lateral ankle sprain. So lateral fracture is most common damage in the lateral ankle sprain. So this is the lateral injury. So we see the fibula and the torn the lateral ankle ligament. So lateral ankle sprain, the injury is inversion and plantar flexion. Okay. Then the symptoms, pain, swelling around the lateral malleoli, pain with mechanism of injury motion, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion and inability to bear weight. Structure injury, which structure? This is lateral injury. So always damage the lateral ankle ligaments. So anterior talofibular and calcaneofibular ligament most commonly damaged. Treatment. Rule out a fracture. So if we rule out the fracture, we have to do the X-ray of a ankle joint. So ankle, anterior, posterior and lateral view. Then RICE. What is RICE? R means rest, I means ice application, C means compression and E means elevation. So always there is a soft tissue swelling. You have to do the rest, ice application, compression with the cramp bandage and elevation. So elevate the foot might be decrease the swelling. After the swelling reduce and pain reduce, you have to do the physiotherapy exercise and gradual return to the activity. So this is the lateral ankle sprain. You can see the ecchymosis over the lateral aspect of the ankle joint. See, this is a swelling over the lateral aspect. Now the medial ankle sprain. The injury is eversion. So pain swelling around the medial malleolus. So pain over the eversion and external rotation. Structure injured is a deltoid ligament. Treatment, first to rule out the fracture. So always done the ankle AP lateral X-ray. Then RICE. Again rest, ice application, compression and elevation. after relieving exercise and gradually return to the activity. Now the special test, Taylor test or Klager test. So if patient having external rotation of the foot, then patient having pain, there might be a torn the deltoid ligament. So Klager test is used for the deltoid ligament. This is the torn deltoid ligament. This is the eversion injury. Now diagnosis. How do you diagnose the ankle sprain? The first is the X-ray and another is a stress X-ray. So stress X-ray is a weight bearing X-ray. Weight bearing, if we do the X-ray in supine position, there might be a no weight bearing over the ankle joint. So there may be structural relax. If we do the weight bearing X-ray, there might be a weight over the ankle joint. So there might be a opening of the syndesmotic joint, or there may be a increased joint space in the ankle joint. Now, the acute phase, first 72 hour, rise, rest, ice application, compression and elevation according to the injury. The ankle sprain, it's a type, grade 1, grade 2 and grade 3. So grade 1 is a mild sprain. So you can't find the fracture. So there is a injury, is a ligament. So anterior talofibular ligament is affected. Now, the stress, minimal change on inversion and normal anterior tower test. Treatment by encouraging the early active movement. Stationary cycling, walking with protection and brace. Okay, grade 1 mild sprain, you have to do the NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, Brufen or any diclo. Then physiotherapy, electrotherapy, strengthening exercise and proprioception. Functional progression to running, jumping and hopping after 2 to 6 weeks. If there is a mild ankle sprain, to return the activity, patient might need up to 6 weeks. But it's a mild sprain, patient will recover within 1 to 2 weeks. If there is a grade 2, there is a complete tear of the anterior talofibular ligament. In grade 1, there is a mild stretching or mild partial tear of the anterior talofibular ligament. Some damage of the calcaneofibular ligament is in type 2, moderate sprain. So laxity, if there is a ligament is damaged, then the joint might be lax. So treatment is a 1 week crutch and splint. So 1 week crutch patient not weight bearing walking. The patient is not allowed to weight bear and patient is giving the immobilization like the plaster. Follow grade 1 physiotherapy. What you have done grade 1 physiotherapy is follow in grade 2. In grade 3, there is an uncommon injury. So anterior talofibular ligament, calcaneofibular ligament are the damage, but there is associated with the fracture. So you have to rule out the fracture with X-ray. If there is an undistressed fracture, then there is a 10 days non-weight bearing and plaster. Okay, POP means plaster of Paris. Then partial weight bearing allowed after 4 to 6 weeks. And then physiotherapy. Now prognosis, grade 1 require average 11 to 12 days. Okay, before resumption any activity. Grade 2 require approximate 2 to 6 week rest. And grade 3 average 4 to 24 weeks. Depend upon the how much damage to the bony. Fracture depends. How much fracture damage their ligaments and ankle joint. Now acute treatment. There is a PRISM. P means a protection. So how do you protect? By immobilization. POP, any brace. Rest is a non-weight bearing. Ice application, compression and elevation. So mobilization is after 2 to 3 weeks after the pain relieves. So there is an ankle brace. This is used for the immobilization. This is a short Villoni plaster or immobilization. Ankle fracture. Now we have seen the ligaments. The ligaments are most common seen into the MRI and fracture most common seen in the X-ray. Okay, the fracture and fracture dislocation of ankles are most common. It's also referred as the Pott's fracture. The most obvious injury in fracture, one or both malleoli or trimalluli. So malleoli are medial malleolus, lateral malleolus and posterior malleolus. If there is a medial malleolus and lateral malleolus fracture, it is called as a bimalleolus fracture. If there is a posterior malleolus fracture, it is called as a trimalleolar fracture. The invisible injury, rupture of one or more ligament. Now ankle fracture. So mechanism, patient stumbles and falls. So there may be damage to the medial and lateral malleoli. So ankle twisted. Associated ligament injury may associate with the such fracture. If the malleolus is pushed off, it usually fracture obliquely. If malleolus pulled off, usually fracture transversely. So it depends upon the injury. There might be a oblique fracture or transverse fracture. Now the classification. So it depends upon your foot injury. Okay. The first is a Dennis Weber A classification, in which there is a fibula, talus and medial malleolus. So injury is most common is known as a transverse fracture of the lateral malleoli below syndesmotic associated with the oblique and vertical fracture of the medial malleolus. So mechanism of injury is a internal rotation and adduction. Okay. So first is fracture of the fibula. The fibula is pushed the talus and there is a fracture to the medial malleolus. So there is a lateral subluxation, a medial subluxation of the ankle joint with the transverse fracture of the fibula and vertical fracture of the oblique fracture of the medial malleolus. Now, again, this is from fibula to medial malleolus. Now, medial malleolus to fibula. So, type B, there is an oblique fracture of a fibula with avulsion of deltoid ligament. There is no medial malleolus fracture, but there is avulsion of deltoid ligament. So, avulsion of torn deltoid ligament is there. You can see the medial side, there is the medial malleolus intake, but the deltoid ligament is ruptured. Syndesmotic is also ruptured and oblique fracture of the fibula. There is a lateral push of the talus. Now, type C is fibula fracture, talus fixed laterally and above the syndesmotic. Okay, the syndesmotic might rupture or not rupture. This is abduction and external rotation injury. Another is a Log-Hosen classification, depends upon 5 injury. First is a supination adduction injury, supination external rotation injury. Another is a pronation abduction injury and pronation external rotation injury. And last one is a pronation dorsiflexion injury. So we can see by the chart, the first is a supination foot. If there is a supinated foot and adduction injury and supinated foot and external rotation injury. So first, if there is a supinated foot and adduction injury, there is a transverse fracture of the fibula and lateral talofibular ligament is ruptured. If the injury is very severe, if the mild injury, there is only fibula fracture, but the injury is severe, then transverse fracture of the fibula and oblique fracture of the medial malleolus. If there is a supinated foot and external rotation injury, then might be an anterior tibia fibular sprain. So grade 1 ankle sprain. But if the severity is more, then there is an oblique fracture of the fibula. If more severity is there, there might be a posterior malleolar fracture. So it's a round circle. The first is fibula damage, then posterior malleolus, then medial malleolus. Okay. The first is the ankle sprain, then fibula fracture, oblique and posteriorly malleolus, and again is more severity, then is the oblique fracture of the medial malleolus. So it's depend of the severity of your foot external rotation. If there is only mild external rotation, there might be sprain. Grade 1, there is a oblique fracture. Grade 2, there is a oblique fracture fibula and posterior malleolus fracture. And grade 3, there is a oblique fracture fibula, posterior malleoli and medial malleolus oblique fracture. Again, is a pronated foot. Now there is a pronated foot and external rotation injury and pronated foot and adduction injury. If there is a pronated foot and only adduction injury grade 1, there might be an oblique fracture of the medial malleolus. But there is a, again the severity statement, again from medial malleolus towards the syndesmotic. So there is a Chaput fracture or there is a ligament rupture of the anterior tibiofibular ligament. So from medial malleolus, the force transfers to the between the tibia and fibula, and after that the force travels to the fibula. So first is the oblique fracture medial malleolus, then medial malleolus oblique fracture with a syndesmotic ligament injury or Chaput fracture, or again it's above the syndesmotic, there is a fibula fracture. So if the injury is severity, then there is a fibula, medial malleolus, lateral malleolus and syndesmotic injuries damage. Now the pronated foot with external rotation. So first is the oblique fracture of the medial malleolus. Then there is again same Chaput fracture, and again there is a transverse fracture fibula. In which adduction injury there is a comminuted fracture fibula. In external rotation there is a transverse fracture fibula, and after that there is a posterior malleolar fracture. It's the grade 4 injury. So medial malleolus, syndesmotic injury, transverse fracture fibula and posteromalleolus. So again it's a clock, rounding clock from medial malleolus, syndesmotic, fibula and posteromalleolus. Now clinical feature. If the patient, what is that the symptoms? So pain, swelling. If there is a fracture, there is a crepidation. So common in skier, footballer and climbers. History of severe twisting, abduction and adduction injury, pain, inability to stand, swelling, deformity and tenderness on or both malleoli. Now the X-ray. How to diagnose the fracture? The first is the ankle epilateral, APU, lateral view and mortise view, 30-degree oblique view. The first is the measurement. See, this is the tibiofibular space is around less than 5 mm and tibiofibular overlap is around more than 10 mm. If there is decrease or increase in this mm, there might be a fracture or ligament injury. This is the mortise view. See, now the measurement of the mortise view, the medial clear space between the talus and medial malleolus, there might be a less than 4 mm distance. If this distance is increasing, there might be a torn of the medial ligament, the deltoid ligament. This is a posterior malleoli view. In this, we can see the posterior malleoli. This is a fluorangle, not useful. CT scan. CT scan is useful for the posterior malleolar fracture because posterior malleolar is situated behind ankle. Okay, so it is not seen on anterior posterior because it is hid by the anterior structure. So CT scan is important. MRI used for the ligament and tendon injury and syndesmotic injury. This is a CT scan. This is upper part is the anterior and lower part is the posterior. So it's a transverse fracture of the posterior malleoli we can easily see in the CT scan. So initial management. So if there is an ankle joint fracture with subluxation, dislocation, the first is the close reduction. Okay. Then compression, dressing, splint and elevation. If there is unstable fracture, so need the urgent reduction, open reduction and internal fixation. If there is a stable fracture, you can wait for the swelling subside and pain control. This is the ankle joint subluxation with the fracture. So you need to reduce the ankle joint first. Medial malleolar fracture. Now the treatment. So undisplaced fracture may be treated non-operatively. If there is a displaced fracture, it requires the reduction and fixation. So this is a lateral malleolus fracture. Non-operative undisplaced fracture, we can conserve patient. Okay, and this is we see the space between the medial malleolus and ankle more than 2 mm. So there is a deltoid ligament avulsion and oblique fracture of the fibula. So bimalleolar fracture, talar subluxation. So this needs the surgical indication. So open reduction, internal fixation. So how to fix the ankle joint? The first, fibula fracture. Always do the fibula fracture first. Okay. So this is treatment. How we fix the fracture? If the oblique fracture is there, the screw is transverse, vertical. This is vertical fracture of the medial malleolus. So screw is transverse. If there is a transverse fracture, screw is posterior to anterior. Or you can fix with the plate and screw. You can always plate 2 to 3 screw in the fibula. Medial malleolus fixation we can fix with the, this is oblique fracture, so we used to insert a oblique screw into the medial malleolus. We can try with a plate also, and also there is a tension band wiring, SS wire fixation. So this is a posterior malleolar fracture, okay, and also medial malleolus and lateral malleolar fracture. So we have to fix the all three. Okay. The posterior malleolus less than more than 2 mm displacement is always fixed with the screw. So this is a posterior malleolar fracture. You can either anterior to posterior and posterior to anterior screw fixation. Syndesmotic injury is most common. You can't fix the ligament between the tibia and fibula. So we always insert screw from the fibula to tibia. There is a screw from fibula to tibia, and the second X-ray also there is a fibula to tibia, and third X-ray also there is a screw from fibula to tibia. This is reduce the space between the tibia and fibula and act as a syndesmotic ligament. Complication, late malunion may be there, varus or valgus, non-union, ankle arthritis, joint stiffness, and elbow dystrophy. Now, the talus. After ankle, tibia and fibula, there is a talus. So, anatomy tells us 60% is covered by the cartilage and supply is critical. So, if the talus bone is fractured, there might be a chance of avascular necrosis of a talus, AVN. Okay. So, due to forcible dorsiflexion classified according to Hawkins, the A is the undisplaced fracture. The tibia, talus, and calcaneus. So, transverse fracture of the talus. Displaced fracture. This is a displaced fracture of the neck with subtalar subluxation. Treatment early and close reduction. If failed, then open reduction and internal fixation. This is the talus is outside the ankle joints. Type 3C. Fracture neck of talus with dislocation of the ankle joint. So this leads to open reduction and internal fixation of the talus. Type D, 2 injury with associated with the talar head dislocation. So complication is avascular necrosis, arthritis, and slugging of the skin. So this is all about the ankle foot injuries. Okay, thank you.